look, I'm not going to sit here and put lipstick on a pig. That was a disgusting basketball setting back offensive performance from both teams. Was just horrid to watch at times. But I have sat here on this show, called in from the arena, written many times over. This is a team that just cannot win with defense. They're not equipped to get stops without Joel Embiid, the personnel, the effort, whatever it is on a given night. And for 48 minutes, those guys locked the fuck in. They full credit to basically everybody on the roster. I will save my complaints about this game for later on because I'm going to stick with the good vibes for now. But the level of engagement that they showed on defense, rebounding, obviously the Knicks were going to hurt you somewhat with offensive rebounds, but that happens. I think the attention to detail was great. I think, Devon, as you brought up before the game, Nick Nurse had called this team out for coming out soft in Friday's game. I think you saw absolutely none of that. I think these guys responded to the challenge to the point that we had a little brouhaha in the fourth quarter between Oubre and DiVincenzo and Hartenstein and Paul Reed, and guys are mixing it up and fighting and pushing and grabbing and smacking people in the face. Like
they smacked them hard.
That was, it reminds me of a lot of Heat Knicks 90s games where they're just absolute bloodbath wars. Now, not quite as violent as those games, much lower stakes than those games. But as we said coming into the game, you had to get this game by any means necessary. You have to start building somewhat of an identity as a group. I still don't know if they've done that, but to go out there and get a win in a way that I've basically given up on saying they can get one this way, I think that was a character performance from this team. You have to get some wins like this over the course of the long season. I think this is the first one of the year, they said on the broadcast right at the end of the game, without both Joel and Tyrese available. Yep. And I think those guys can feel plenty proud after that one. Certainly not of the offense, but I would bet you Nick Nurse let some excited F-bombs and other assorted curse words fly in excitement after that game in the locker room. That was awesome.
And I said, this game has been so ugly the entirety of the game, but they were leading for a majority of it from the second quarter on, and it only felt right that they were going to lose the basketball game. Rock fight, ugly, gritty, all these things that we want to throw out there. It just simply said this team was going to lose the basketball game. Pre-game, we both said double-digit loss for this team against the New York Knicks. They had their time off, just like the Sixers are off. This is our second Sunday game where we were both wrong. This basketball team scored 79 points this evening, and they won against a gritty, tough Atlantic Division opponent that had every reason to knock them off for the seeding purposes that Ish was talking about during our pregame. But instead, while they still have the series lead at 2-1, this is the fourth and final game on Tuesday on their home floor again, the Sixers just gut punched them a little bit. And with the possibility of Maxey coming back in that game too, that gives the Sixers, as you said, every reason to feel good about what they just did,
of course,
and something to build off of for this next game on Tuesday. But that being said, everything that they did tonight, they had to find a way to defend. They had to find a way, even though they did not rebound the ball well. We normally combine defense and rebounding together with this basketball team. But even though they defended well, they did not rebound the basketball all that well, especially in some really key stretches there where they needed to secure the defensive board. The Knicks missed their shots, but a part of that was because their defensive effort was so good this evening. And that's why when Kyle opens up and says we often criticize them about their poor defense, this is why, because it's in them.
Yes.
It's in every NBA player to do so. It's just a matter of you going out there and executing and fighting and doing what you need to give that effort to defend on every given possession. Now, you may not defend as hard on every possession, but to go out there and do it. And they got minutes out of a lot of people. They went 9 deep here tonight. They had to get a spell of 4 minutes from Kenyon Martin Jr. coming off the bench, 26 plus from Hield, Reed, and Batum to walk away with this win. And from your starters, outside of Mo Bamba, 30 plus. So when we talk about gutting out a win against a better basketball team right now, That's exactly what they did. Now, we're not going to come in here with the pom-poms and waving him and all that stuff. They needed to snap this 3-game losing streak, but they needed this one right here. They also got some help from a few other teams, Orlando losing, Miami losing, Washington beat Orlando. So they needed this one. Now,
Or Washington beat Miami.
Washington beat Miami. I apologize. They needed this one, and now they just have to build off of that to pick up any win that they can get here going forward with now 18 games left. Contributions from everywhere, from Oubre, Reed, big shots from Campaign with a runner that he had, a tough layup over Jericho Sims
And
at one point.
another example of Campaign was 3 for 13 and still managed to hit some big shots throughout that game.
Lead the team in
It kept
assists, but you needed a big play from everybody at some point. Campaign had the tough layup. Kyle Lowry with the big 3. Kelly Oubre rebounding as well. Tobias Harris with the final rebound. We'll get to some of the negative stuff there later on, but everyone made plays tonight, and this team worked hard for this victory. Definitely needed this one against the Knicks.
We all silly like the mayor.